This is a special arm, the way he could throw spirals, the different areas and platforms he could throw off of, right? I do believe this is the closest thing we've seen to Mahomes coming out.
Bears are expected to take Caleb Williams at number one. This is the possibility that they've been preparing for all along. They've been planning for it. They traded Justin Fields.
Back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Zuckerberg Burkle, here on the coast today. Aaron, go and say hi.
Hi. If you like our content, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment and let us know what you think.
But other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at the most sought after NFL draft prospect of the 2024 NFL draft, Caleb Williams, quarterback out of the University of Southern California after transferring from Oklahoma. Before that, though, he was the second-ranked quarterback coming out of high school. But Caleb Williams, starting off his freshman year at Oklahoma with 65% completion percentage, 1,912 passing yards, 21 touchdowns to only 4 picks, 442 rushing yards, and 6 rushing touchdowns after taking over for the struggling Spencer Rattler. After that, though, his head coach at Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley, moved on to USC. Caleb Williams chose to follow him, where he has a stellar sophomore season, recording 67% completion percentage, 4,500 passing yards, 42 touchdowns to only 5 picks, 382 rushing yards, and 10 rushing touchdowns. A little bit of a fall off his junior year, at least yards and touchdown wise. His completion percentage did increase by 2%, going up to 69. Nice completion percentage. 3,600 passing yards, 30 passing touchdowns to 5 interceptions, 142 rushing yards, and 11 rushing touchdowns. Large reason people are saying that his junior year did not live up to his sophomore season was due to just a lack of talent around him, specifically on the defensive side where they couldn't stop a soul. And then on the offensive side, he didn't exactly have the best talent around him either. However, going into this draft, Caleb Williams has been seen by most people as the consensus number 1 overall pick. Many of those reasons being he seems to be the best QB off schedule and outside the pocket. His athleticism and arm talent is off the charts. Aaron, what are kind of your thoughts of Caleb Williams as an NFL prospect? Do you think he is worth all the hype that's been around him for the last 2 years?
Yeah, he's creative behind the line of scrimmage. He's got a powerful arm, good accuracy. Uh, I think we still kind of have to wait and see. I mean, some of these college offenses, the progressions and all that's kind of wonky and different from how most teams do it in the NFL. So I think kind of the mental stuff, I think for the most part, everybody agrees that he's got it, but we'll just see how well he's got it coming up in training camp and OTAs and all that. But yeah, I think he's definitely worth most of the hype.
Yeah, I mean, some people have pointed to his lack of success this past season as maybe indicating that his sophomore year was a little bit of a flash in the pan. However, I think he's a really underrated passer inside the pocket as well. He makes on time throws pretty well, better than I think most people give him credit for. I think a lot of people see the flashiness he does outside of the pocket and think that's kind of all he's capable of doing. But he's really good inside the pocket as well. He's a really good just traditional quarterback on top of all that creativity he possesses as well. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Um, I think a lot of people also kind of misinterpret his biggest weakness, where he's kind of sometimes been known to be a little bit careless with the ball outside the pocket, specifically, fumbles more so than interceptions, because his interception numbers have never been too crazy high, but he has had a couple stupid fumbles outside the pocket in his career. I think a lot of that just goes more towards him showing how aggressive he is, a little bit over aggressive at times, even. And with the lack of talent that he had maybe at USC this last season, he probably felt like he had to do more than he actually had to, similar to maybe what you were saying about Bo Nix at Auburn, for instance. So, what's kind of your thoughts on any weaknesses Caleb Williams has? What weaknesses have you seen in his game?
Well, it's a strength, but it's also a weakness. Is always looking to make the big play.
Yeah, that
Sometimes the
over
best play is
aggressiveness.
just hit your check down guy, get a few yards. Don't be risky with the ball. Take what the defense is giving you. That kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Um, Sometimes it feels like he sort of drifts into pressure a little bit in the pocket, and it also doesn't feel like he's always necessarily ready to throw. Sometimes he dances a little too much and kind of drifts when he's dropping back. His back is like straight back. He's not like turned like he's ready to throw the ball. So maybe a little lackadaisical sometimes in the pocket and stuff like that. But that's easy fixes.
yeah. I mean, I definitely think he's going to be great from day one, even though he's going to. Well, actually, honestly, because he's going to the Bears, he's going to have some really good wide receivers now with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and then maybe they get another guy even in the first round after drafting Caleb Williams. So I'm curious to see what he can do in that offense. I think the Bears made the right decision overall. With that being said, we can go ahead and get into our pro comps. So, why don't you go ahead and get us started this time? Because I know I've kind of taken the reins the last few.
Um, well, I know I said I wasn't going to, but I kind of lied to you.
Ah,
And I am gonna go along with I've kind of got three here. Um, I've got Patrick Mahomes as one of them, but it's really only for one aspect of his game, and it's for his kind of creativeness behind the line of scrimmage. Um, Always finding new ways to evade pressure and keep his eyes downfield and make a big play. So that's really kind of my biggest comp with him and Pat. I mean, they don't really move the same or anything like that. Um, the other biggest the way he moves reminds me so much of Lamar Jackson. He's got real burst speed. He's real agile. He's not necessarily breaking a lot of tackles. He just makes a lot of guys miss. Whether it just kind of be hopping over their arms or stepping back, just sliding out of the way of them. So the way he moves reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson. And then kind of the way he throws the ball and some other stuff behind the line of scrimmage reminds me of Kyler Murray. And kind of
mm,
kind of the way when he gets past the line of scrimmage, the way he runs kind of reminds me of Kyler Murray. Doesn't really take a lot of big hits, just kind of gets out of bounds or gets down. So those are kind of the similarities between uh, the NFL players that I see with him.
yeah, I heard a Kyler Murray comp earlier today in a video I was watching. Obviously, the Patrick Mahomes one has been used to death at this point, I feel like. And then Aaron Rodgers, even as well, is starting to get to that point with this kid. Um, I'm kind of going to go in that same vein. And this doesn't make it makes sense, but it also doesn't quite make sense because the person I'm about to name is much more careless with the football than Caleb Williams has been, uh, or maybe even more over aggressive than Caleb Williams has been. It would be a better term for it. I picked Brett Favre, kind of in that same vein as like the Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, where they just kind of seem to want to, they just seem to make a play happen, extend plays, stuff like that behind the line of scrimmage, have the arm strength to pull it off as well. Uh, but unlike those two and Caleb Williams, even maybe Brett Favre had a tendency to get maybe a little bit even too over aggressive. than even these other guys tend to get, where he would just throw it into quadruple coverage sometimes, just absolutely throw up prayers to guys downfield, hoping that somehow his guy would come down with it. I don't think Caleb Williams quite does it to that extent. While he does try to maybe extend plays behind the line of scrimmage, give his receivers time to gain separation downfield, similar to a Brett Favre or an Aaron Rodgers or a Patrick Mahomes. He definitely isn't as careless with the football as Brett Favre was. But to be honest, I just couldn't bring myself to compare him to the greatest of all time, Patrick Mahomes. That's like comparing guys to Michael Jordan or LeBron James. I refuse to be, until it happens, I refuse to be the guy that falls victim for he's the next GOAT crap. I'm sorry.
Well, someone's got to be at some point.
But that's fair. That's fair. You can be that guy. You can be that guy. I can't fall into that trap. I've seen it happen too many times. But yeah, Caleb Williams can be great. Number 1 overall pick for a reason. He's been the number 1 overall pick since his sophomore year, if not his freshman year. So kid's special. He's gonna be special. Is he gonna be the next GOAT? I don't know. Maybe. He could be. I guess. Anyone could be. You never know. Zach Wilson could be. Probably not. But unless you got anything else to add, I think that'll do it for this episode of the Most Unprofessional Sports Channel on YouTube. So cheer sports. I've been your host, Zach Circleberg Berkeley, with the coach today, Aaron. Wednesday by Aaron.
Bye.
All right. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Other than that, deuces.